Morning, Jean.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well, thanks. How about you?
Also doing well, thank you. Just got off the phone. Thankfully, I'm not late today. I was a couple of minutes late yesterday. Just got off the phone with Jessica Fu from the Seattle Times. She's writing an article about the folks who got letters from Kaiser, and you can imagine all the rest of that conversation all by yourself.
Oh
So happy to
gosh.
be here. Happy to see you twice in a week. That's a good trend. I love that.
Very kind, thank you.
Yeah, no, I love seeing you. I remember the first time that we met, we didn't get to meet in person, but we talked on the phone, and in my memory, it was something like this. Hey, Tim, you're probably like a reasonably competent state employed program manager.
Mhm. Is Tim frozen for everyone or just me?
And I was like, oh, Gene, I get that. I know we feel the same way, but sometimes life is hard, and I can't do that for you.
Tim, you were frozen. Whatever you were recounting, I didn't hear. But anyway, you just
Sorry.
have to send me something.
It was a good first meeting. We had a nice
Oh,
candid conversation.
oh, okay. Well, good.
I think I mean this really sincerely. I feel like I mean in general, of course, love working with the volunteers, but I feel like you and I have had a nice um we have very good candid conversations.
Hmm.
And I sincerely appreciate your feedback
Okay.
about my performance and how the program is doing and where we can get better.
Oh my gosh. It's a two-way street, you know.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Well, I did have the privilege to come out and see you guys at Whidbey Island on Monday, and honestly,
Hmm.
you guys are like the model group. I remember we had a staff meeting one time, and I was talking to people about like, here's my vision for the program, and I said, in places like Whidbey Island or Island County, where we got Annette and Jean on this side or Peggy on this side, I feel like that's a perfect model, like a volunteer coordinator. And people
Hmm.
just laughed, like that's impossible. I said, it can't be impossible. I have two living examples of it
Yeah.
working. I said, it's
Yeah.
not that we wouldn't have paid staff at the contractor office doing other things, but I feel like there's a way of imagining the volunteer coordinator role as being an unpaid role.
Hmm.
Someone actually laughed out loud, which, well, that's a certain kind of feedback.
Hmm. Well, my first interaction with SHIBA, we had actually, I went to work for senior services, they're now Sound Generations. But when I was with senior services, they had just had some sort of a blow up with SHIBA. And they were kind of operating, off the grid directly with CMS. It was kind of a hoot. But anyway, we
Yeah,
got back into the camp. Yeah.
sometimes we're a little brittle as a partner, right? We could be a little more supple sometimes.
Mhm.
Reminds me, I once heard an interview with Justice Ginsburg near the end of her life. She's a kind of personal hero for me, and she was relating. She had this long-term, decades-long marriage. Hey, Aruna, we haven't started yet. You're not late. Go get a second cup of tea. And she said, "Well, so when we were having our, reception after the wedding, my mother-in-law took me aside and she said, Ruth, I want to just give you some advice about being married." And she said, okay, sometimes it's good to be a little deaf.
Mhm.
Like, and work at coaching my godson a little bit sometimes about he's a teenager, right? So his relationships with his, friends, I say, you don't have to swing at every pitch. Like,
Mhm.
just because someone said something, sometimes you just
Yeah.
don't respond to those. You just let them go
Mhm.
by. You don't have to swing at every pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my counsel for today, Gene. Don't swing at
Oh,
every
okay.
pitch.
Okay.
What counsel do you have for me?
Oh, Tim, my gosh. I guess what I would say is it's really difficult to be all things to all people. That was sort of my message when I was a volunteer manager, you know.
Yeah.
And people come to the party for different reasons. But I think the nice thing about SHIBA, everyone that I have had any sort of interaction with at any location has been there for clients. You know,
Mhm.
it was all about doing the right thing and getting people connected in the plan that's best for them. And given all the moving parts, Tim, I think it's really amazing the job that gets done with the volunteers.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I have perfect confidence that we can keep doing this indefinitely.
Mm-hmm.
I did a program this morning for the agency leadership, our directors, and I said, as long as you continue with the financial support, the future is very bright for us. We can
Mm-hmm.
continue. This is very scalable. This model works, but it takes continuing to invest. The program, in my view, we haven't had enough consistent investment in the program. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in the last legislative session, we got technical term expenditure authority, right? So 6 more people, $3 million more for this biennial budget. Like when the legislature comes back in January, I'm going to be asking for some more people, some more money, and I'm just going to continuously have a request for more financial support and more staffing support so that we can grow our network and fund our partners and take care of you all. So it's infinitely scalable, and I think it's sort of like idiot proof, right? It doesn't really matter what happens out in the world, like the bad decisions other people make don't have to affect us because we can be kind of self-supporting. So when I met with the commissioner between the time she was elected and the time she was inaugurated, I said, I feel like what I'm going to bring you over the course of the 4 years that you're here is a plan to where the program, if it really had to, right, that we could exist without federal support.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, that's not my preference, but I can make
No.
that happen. So as usual, I'm met with skepticism. Like, you say you can do that, but I'm like, oh, I know I'm better at this than I give the appearance. My friend Fiona Humphrey, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
I am perfect in every way. Thank you.
Excellent. Did I just miss something important? I just got on and heard you saying something about what?
You haven't missed
Okay,
anything important at all.
okay, good,
Getting
good,
warmed
good.
up.
Okay. All righty.
In basketball, we have this like, double double or triple double where you get like 10 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. You're going to have the distinction of being the person who worked for 20 years and then volunteered for 20 years.
Yeah. And also 9 years with the Area Agency on Aging too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was with our friend Pam yesterday in Cathlamet and we were just raving about you.
Oh, really? Yes, yes. Yes. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm happy to be a part of Shiba in all these years, of course.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of you. Also, just to close the loop, the last time that we met, you said, hey, you should get the state to give your team access to ACEs. And I tried that and they said, no, not going to happen.
That is too bad.
I know. I don't
Did
give
they
up
give
yet.
you, did they give you a reason for that?
Security,
Uh-huh.
data security.
Yeah. Even if you have a dedicated OIC, employee doing it?
I did. I
Gee.
tried that. Yeah. How about just one person who has access, corresponds with one
Yeah.
person? Yep. Yep. Yep.
They were,
Not yet, but things change. So I'm not giving up.
yeah, yeah. It would be so very helpful because I was dealing with a client today when it really would have been helpful to have been able to look on there myself. I've noticed a lot of the staff at Adswell, they're not really trained as they use Provider One a lot more than they use
Mm.
ACEs, and they're not very good at looking at information to tell me what's going on, when I ask. So it's
Mm.
too bad. It's too bad
It
because
is
it
too
has a
bad.
lot of good data for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. I would say that the I've talked to some of the IT staff people there. at DSHS, and they are going to expose some more client data to clients themselves. So it's going to be a little bit tricky because they're going to still have to go through that Secure Access Washington portal. But we've been working with them on like some, screen tips. So when it says you're currently enrolled in QMB, then they're going to say qualified Medicare beneficiary. It means the state pays your Medicare Part B premium. So, I
Okay, well,
can't say that there's not, some collaboration. I just didn't get what you and I wanted.
yeah.
Yeah. But even people that don't like me say that I'm persistent. So we have that.
Well, that's good. We need to keep working on it because, it's just like when I used to ask Social Security, I went through Jamie Herrera and everybody trying to get them to set up
Mhm.
a situation like we have, with our SHIBA, they needed
Yeah.
on the Social Security side. I got the same thing. Too much confidential information. We can't share it, duh.
Yeah. I know. I appreciate, the instinct behind it. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's a sister agency kind of relationship. So,
Yep.
all right,
Got it.
friends, we're going to get started. Fiona and I are going to share the time with you now. I count 34 living human beings, so I think we're a small enough group that we can do a quick round of introductions because some of you I have not seen in a long time, and I miss you, and so I want to hear from you in your own voice. How are you doing? And Doreen, are you going to come online and be first?
Sure, I'm doing good. We're
This
just
is
hanging in here.
my old good friend Doreen from Goldendale. How are you, Doreen?
I'm good.
Tell people what you do for your work, please.
I am an information and assistance specialist, so I do all kinds of things. SHIBA is a very, very small part of my job. I actually do have access to ACEs, and I help people do applications for Medicaid, food stamps, all of that, as well as long-term care applications. So many different parts of that.
Yep. Yep. Happy to see you. Last time I was going to come to Goldendale, you said don't come, the weather is forbidding, so I'm looking forward to coming again soon.
Yeah, spring is usually easier. You have to come across some passes that are can be
Mhm.
pretty bad.
And we already closed White Pass this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there goes that. All right, nice to see you. Audrey, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just have started training with SHIBA. So I personally retired from my job in May. My job was telling employees about their insurance benefits. It's something I was very good at and enjoyed doing. And so I'm looking forward to getting to that point with Medicare, et cetera. And I'm in Edmonds, so I'm working through the Edmonds Waterfront Center.
Yes, and your volunteer coordinator, Celeste Virago, is here. Good morning, Celeste.
Hi.
You're in we're reaching you in your
I,
ashram this morning. I'm glad you're calm and peaceful.
I'm very much multitasking. So I'm here, but keeping my eye on other things too. So-
All right, I don't have your undivided attention. Good to see you. Scott Opsel, how are you? I sent you a note overnight.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. And you work too late at night, Tim.
Well, that's a judgment call right there.
But yes, I got that, and we'll be in touch and discuss more. But I'm
Okay.
SHIBA advisor in Whatcom County, and been doing it for about 8 years. And I teach a Welcome to Medicare class to the community college in Bellingham.
An active mentor looking for a little advice from me about your kind of scope with mentoring. So thank you for that. Yep. Good morning, Lori. Would you like to be next?
Sure. I'm from Skagit County, and this is my third open enrollment year. So looking forward to it. And this one seems like it's going to be a very exciting one with Medicare closed down or reduction in staff and so forth. So Glad to be here.
I know it's unfortunate about that. Good morning, Linnell. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm a part of the Whidbey Island group. I didn't get to meet you earlier in the week.
We met very briefly. You and your husband came by the last time that we were there.
Oh gosh, yeah, okay. Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did. So I will be in my first open enrollment
Mm-hmm.
soon. I'm busy preparing for that. My background is that I was a corporate benefits administrator. So I'm understanding quite a bit of it, but there's so much to learn. It's very exciting. Jean's doing a really good job holding my hand.
Mm-hmm. Jean is excellent. You could do worse than Jean.
Yeah.
There's my friend Paul Bradley. Paul, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying doing telephone counseling and looking forward to open enrollment. Hopefully, it won't be as bad as when Primera dropped out a year ago, but we'll have changes. And
You're going to get lots of calls from Kaiser people.
yes, already
Yeah.
have.
I just did an interview with Jessica Fu from the Seattle Times about it, so you can watch
Good.
for whatever salacious quotes she included from me. No, I was pretty circumspect. Carl Johnson, how are you, my friend? You work with our friend Scott up there in Bellingham. You're on mute. You're on mute, Carl. Try again.
Okay, hi everybody. Yeah, up here in Bellingham, I'm doing okay, recovering from another total knee replacement surgery, but we'll be back in the counseling beneficiaries starting again on the 22nd. So,
Okay. So your doctor cleared you back to SHIBA duty. That's good.
yeah, yeah, right.
Nice
I
to
don't
see you.
recommend knee surgery to anyone. It's not
Oh,
fun.
okay. Okay. Let me call on my friend Elisa, who lives up there in Blaine. Good morning, Elisa.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Elisa, and I'm part of the Open Enrollment Support Specialist staff. And this is my fourth season, so my position is temporary, and this is my fourth time coming back. And I'm also looking forward to open enrollment. Hopefully, it will go well. And yeah, I'm up here in Blaine, so in Whatcom County.
Thank you. Lovely to see you. Hey, Devin, how are you?
Doing well. Hi, everyone. Devin with Kitsap County Aging, and I have to remember we have a new name now, Tim. Aging Disability Resource Network. We're no longer Kitsap County Aging and Long-Term Care. So that's
Oh,
our new name now.
The last time I talked to you and Jason, you guys told me that, and I did not commit it to memory.
Yeah, well, believe me, I haven't even yet either, Tim. So
Okay. Well, hold on to the stationery. It might come back again.
oh, you're right. Good to see everyone.
Good to see you. Tell Jason I said hi.
I will.
Thank you. Good morning, Susie. Would you like to be next?
Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Susie Tegman. I'm the new SHIBA coordinator. I am 7.5 weeks in. I have so much gratitude to be here. I've been learning so much from Tim and our RTCs, and I'm just very thankful to be here and serve along with you. So my role will be to help onboard the volunteers. I work very closely with the sponsors, the volunteers, and our volunteer coordinators. So good morning to all of you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. So Susie is going to be the person that's going to help you with things like STARS accounts, privacy and confidentiality training, CMS unique ID, volunteer onboarding. If you need supplies, equipment, things like that that the agency provides, Susie's going to be your point of contact. Will you put your the email address that you want people to correspond with you in the chat for us, please?
Yes, will do.
Super, super great. Linda Diekman, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am very well, thank you. So I'm Linda Diekman. I am the regional training coordinator for the coast and kind of the southern part of the southwest part of the state. So I have Thurston, Mason, Lewis, Clallam counties all the way around to Klickitat. So I've been with SHIBA for just over a year. Looking forward to open enrollment. Glad to be here. Thanks.
Glad to have you.
Oh, and
Um,
White Pass is not closed. They're just doing construction. They have a
oh,
big detour, but you can actually go over the pass.
okay, thanks for that. Linda helped us a lot to update the guide that we call What You Need to Know About Medicare Supplement or Medigap Plans, which you all are going to find very helpful for your clients who are losing their Medicare Advantage plan. We learned a good lesson last year that our guide wasn't technically correct about people's guaranteed issue rights. So we updated the chart on page 7. So if you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen the new guide, I would commend it to you. And thank you, Linda, for your work
Absolutely.
on that. Good morning, Corey. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. I am with the organization on the Olympic Peninsula, Jefferson and Clallam County. I've been a volunteer for about 4.5 years. This is my 5th open enrollment. Have a great team up here. They work like clockwork, and we got hit at one of our clinics on Monday. We're used to, or on Tuesday, we're used to maybe 5 or 6, 7 people coming in a 2-hour period. We had 23 people on Tuesday, and many, a few of them were new to Medicare, but most of them were anxious about what's going on with their drug plans. We're seeing huge differences. I actually had a client yesterday that one of her medications would have been $104,700 for the year because it was no longer covered. But we got it worked out. So going to be exciting times.
That is so impressive. Thanks, Corey. Will you tell people what, when you say we had a clinic, will you tell people what that means, please?
This is when we do one-on-ones, first come, first serve in public places. We use the senior centers in Sequim, Port Angeles, Port Townsend, Tri-Center, and Quilcene. And they're scheduled like every other week throughout the month. We do 2-hour sessions, and our counselors work with clients across the table, and it's very helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, you have a somewhat unique model in the way that you do first come, first serve. Volunteers work side by side. You schedule 5 or 6 people for a shift. And so it's nice that people have kind of immediate peer support in the room and they store materials for you. And I put a note in the chat that Tri-Center means Chimicum.
Oh, sorry.
little inside baseball there for you and me.
Yeah.
And I think that I've forgotten the name now. I apologize, but you have a new fella who wants to get going in Brennan, right?
Yes, I have not met him yet. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I think it's Stephen, but I'm not sure. But
right.
Brand new, just a few weeks with our team. And,
So for those of you that want to learn more about kind of what they're doing up there on the Olympic Peninsula, so Corey would be a great resource. It works really great up there, and it's something you might consider trying in
happy
the
to do that.
place that you work at. I think the volunteers like it because of peer support, right? And it's a kind of accelerates mentoring.
Exactly. We have a strong team this year. All of our counselors are experienced and independent at this point, but we still ask questions and confer with each other. It feels very supportive. You're not on your own, and it works.
You guys are doing a great job up there. Prakash or Aruna put a note in the chat. Where can I find the document choosing Medigap plan? Could somebody on my team? This is the I guess booklet. I'll call booklet called "What You Need to Know About Medicare Supplement or Medigap Plans." Could we post a link to that? Thanks,
Tim, my
Linda.
takeaway from that was I should recycle all the old ones, right? And go with the new ones.
Unless you have a burn pile. Yes, Kelly. Do you want to say good morning?
Oh, sure. I'm going to keep my camera off. I've been to the dentist already this morning to have a cavity replaced, a filling replaced. So I'm still numb. Hi, everybody. I'm in the Thurston and Masons SHIBA area. I work for Senior Services for South Sound. I have an awesome team, thank goodness. But about a third of my team are all new. So it has been busy, 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 and feels like open enrollment already. Thank you, Kaiser. I'm finding myself doing a lot of in-person meetings at the senior center for folks so that I can train my new people, because a lot of my team members are working from home and they want to keep doing that. So I'm just having to be the mentor right now. But it's working out, and I've got a few really promising folks that are coming along.
Excellent. Super happy to hear that. Thank you. Let's have a couple of people from King County. Alan Ross, would you like to be next, sir?
I will. I'm not on my camera because I'm about 7 weeks out from a total knee replacement, and I tested positive for COVID yesterday. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm just flat on my back. Anyway, yeah, from King County, been doing this for 5 years or so and having a lot of fun, but not today.
I hope you can feel better soon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And my friend Don Randall is here from Snohomish County. How are you, Don?
Great, trying to operate Zoom here. Good. It is heading up to open enrollment. I think we're swamped, so we've filled a couple of sessions already, and I think that we'll probably need more people to jump in, according to Celeste. So I guess that's encouraging. And yes, probably a lot of Kaiser people, and
it's a lot of Kaiser people.
We're trying to deflect them back to Kaiser if they want to stay with Kaiser, and come to us if they don't.
Yep, I think that's a good approach. I was just working on a little decision tree that we can publish for people to kind of help guide them through that a little bit and get something up on our website to help all of you with that. So thank you. Nice to see you, Don.
Yeah.
Joy Land, you want to represent for the Peninsula?
Hi, good morning. I'm Jolynn Burdisha. I'm a navigator with Peninsula Community Health Services and a SHIBA counselor. I've been doing SHIBA for about a year, so we're really ramping up for open enrollment now, and I feel like I'm learning something new every single day. My history actually is in taking care of the elderly and the disabled, so I fell into this kind of naturally as a helper in general, and I love working with the population that we work with. We are doing outreach events at senior centers, libraries, and we also are meeting with patients where they are at those senior centers. We have appointments coming up so we can help them one-on-one. So it's getting busy. And you mentioned Kaiser. Oh my goodness, have our SHIBA calls gone up? We had 18 in one day, and it was primarily Kaiser patients panicking, thinking that they couldn't have Kaiser anymore. So.
Right, I know. Sorry for that.
No, that's okay. Hey, we're happy to help, and everything's going well. We're looking forward to this season.
Okay, nice to see you. And Catherine, do you want to be the talk about the Peninsula, some of the good work you guys are doing out there? Yep, I'm talking to you, Catherine Ledger. Yes. Nope, not yet. Do something different with your sound. Shout louder. It's a long, long way to Bremerton. My hearing is not what it used to be. Nope. That's all right. We'll come back to you. No one's in a rush. Dan Demers, do you want to say good morning?
Good morning. It's nice to see everybody here. And as Tim said, I'm Diane Demarest, and I am working with Tim with SHIBA, and I am the Medicare Complaints Coordinator. And I always like to joke, if you have complaints in your title, you know it's always an exciting day every day. So Philip and I work together, and we handle the complex cases and get referrals from you all quite a bit. So it's nice to meet everybody, and hope to get out and see some of you in person, maybe after open enrollment. Thanks so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you for being here. Good morning, Kendra. Would like to say hi?
Sure, I'd love to. Hi, I'm Kendra Blythen. I'm the field supervisor with the SHIBA team, which means that I have the great pleasure of working with the regional training consultant team. We have 6 regional training consultants across Washington State. I'm actually going to I'm going to share the screen here for a second. And I just want to show you the great work. The one thing that I will say is missing from this map, just because there's a limited amount of space, are all of our enhanced outreach contractors. And so if you happen to be with an enhanced outreach or MIPA contractor, know that we value you incredibly. But this map shows all of our sponsor organizations where we have all of our amazing volunteers. And it includes down here at the bottom in color coding, all of our regional training consultants. So I have just the incredible honor of working with them as they work with you. And that's what I do. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, and thanks for sharing the map. Annette Barca, good morning. How are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. I'm on Whidbey Island with Jane and Linnell and whoever else is here. They are an incredible team, and I'm pleased to have them working with us. And if you want somebody who's a fast learner, that is Linnell. And we have basically divided our people into 2 teams, one for the north end of the island and one for the south end of the island. And our big concern is, I think, drug availability of drug plans in terms of which pharmacies take what, especially on the south end, since there's only one. And it seems to be a growing and increasing number of people who qualify for Medicaid or DSNP type plans, and trying to understand what they are. I might also mention that one of our volunteers is really specializing in helping people who are eligible for veterans benefits and which kind of plans are best for them. And so that's, I think, a good natural spinoff from his background, but also because we have a Navy base on the north end of the island.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
large numbers of retirees decide to stay in the area after they've been assigned to Oak Harbor.
Yep. Nice to
And
see you.
our goal is to hopefully, when we're not busily supporting SHIBA and people with that, is let's get the ferry system fixed.
Okay, well, see, that makes me feel more hopeful about open enrollment. Compared to that, this should be a cakewalk. Good morning, Heidi. You want to say good morning? Representing for Timber River Connections.
Hi, I'm Heidi. I'm Timber River Connections, which is Lewis County, and I am brand new. I retired in January, and we've got the updates all done, and we're now starting to see clients. I've seen 3 or 4. I am Lewis County did not have a SHIBA location until I retired and said, we need to do this. I keep referring people to SHIBA, but we don't have one in Lewis County. So it's been a bit bumpy getting everything all set up, but we've got dates set for when I'll be at senior centers. I've dedicated Tuesdays is my SHIBA day, where I go to, we have 5 different senior center locations, so I'll be going to different ones each week. We're talking about, depending on call volume, we may set up a couple of just Kaiser only presentations to talk to people. I've seen the letters that are coming out from Kaiser for Lewis County, and I think it may be different than what the rest of the state is getting. It says we're pulling out of Medicare Advantage. There is no plan.
Okay, that's different. Yep.
So, so that I'm just taking that as an opportunity to educate people on their option to be able to switch to a Medigap policy if they take a look at the differences between a Med Advantage and a Medigap, and do you want to find another Med Advantage or do you want to go to a Medigap? So it's going well. we need more volunteers because I'm only one person. And we're just, the idea is to see as many people as I can and not burn myself out by doing overextending and trying to do 15, I mean, because you could do 20 hours a week doing this. And I don't have 20 hours a week to do it. So I have a background in medical benefits, in assisting people to transition from active coverage to retirement coverage, including COBRA options, and then from COBRA over to Medicare Advantage and Medicare plans. So I've got the information. It's just getting the information to the people. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's very nice to see you. You and I met when you were still in your professional role with the Association of Washington Cities. Yeah. So super excited about you being a SHIBA volunteer. You're going to have like the a little bit like Linnell, the fast track, because you've got some recent relevant prior experience. So thanks for hopping right in there.
It's fun.
And it's hard, right? I mean, we have a number of people on the call who have a lot of experience, and it can be really challenging to regulate your hours and time and set those boundaries, but it's very important. Please take care of yourself because we need you to be a volunteer for 37 years. Good morning, Stephanie Ketchum. How are you, my friend? Nope, preoccupied. Laura, do you want to say good morning?
Hello, I'm from King County, and this is my 4th season of open enrollment.
Good to see you. Always enjoy a note from you. You have very insightful questions. Judy Kenning, we have almost all the people that live on Whidbey Island on the call this morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nothing new in my book, just getting ready.
All right, nice to see you again. Good morning, Wing. Would you like to say good morning?
Good morning, everybody.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. I just returned from my trip, so I'm getting ready for this open enrollment.
Glad you could make it back in time. Where'd you go this time?
Yeah, this is my 2nd year for Medicare, so I feel like a lot of things I learned in the past now is more things add on to it. So looking forward for it and see what else I could help out for the seniors.
Wing, tell us which group you work with, please. Which group of volunteers?
I work with CISC in Seattle, Chinatown, and they have a lot of senior program. And I talked to Jasmine, Jasmine. She is my my helper, and we are running some of the programs this year, and she put me in the open enrollment workshop in one of the office, and we also planning to do some of the Medicare booth that is in the local libraries. So I'm working with her now and see what is the next step that I need to head into it.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. It's lovely to see you. I think I'm going to maybe come up for a program that you all are doing this month. Maybe I will see you there.
Okay. I'll see you then.
Okay. Lovely to see you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Amy Fagoni, do you want to say hello? Do you want to say good morning?
Sure. Hi, good
Sure.
morning. For those that don't know who I am Amy Fagoni, and I'm the operations supervisor here at SHIBA. And what that means for you is we provide extra help with overflow calls. And when you guys get, and it happens mainly during open enrollment, there are a lot of calls. And so we help with those overflow calls. And then I also help oversee the training and curriculum. Nice to see everyone.
Nice to see you. Yeah, so back to my earlier observation, we are not expecting that you are going to take care of all the Medicare beneficiaries that need help across open enrollment. That's just not possible. We're doing a great job growing our network, but we're still nowhere near in a place where that's going to be enough support. And as Heidi said, and we'll get Stephanie to come on the phone from Yakima. There's just places where we have not got enough volunteers, or we need to recruit a bunch more volunteers. Yep, Stephanie, I'm talking to you. And so, please don't, you don't have to do anything heroic. We're just asking you to work as much as you feel comfortable working, work the cases you feel great at working. Diane introduced herself as the complaints coordinator. Please know that there's a lot of support in the background from us. So if you want help working cases, or if you want to send some cases back, or if, we talked about doing some local programming specifically about what does it mean that Kaiser is going, please invite us. We'll come out and do a local presentation, or Stephanie and I have been corresponding about hey, let's just get a place and talk about CHPW is leaving. What does that mean for you? And if you're one of those affected people, come out and we'll have a presentation and a conversation with you. So please know that we want you to just work as much as you can, and then it's our responsibility to take care of the rest, please. Morning, Stephanie. Do you want to say hi? Nope. Camera shy. Fair enough. Tamara Smith, do you want to say good morning?
I suppose so. I'm Tamara Smith, and I work at O3A up here in Clallam County in the SQUIM office. And I started helping with Part D back in 2006, I think. And then I took my basic training in 2009. And I work with Corey, and we have a great team, and I'm looking forward to being busy. And I think we're going to be very busy tomorrow at the Port Angeles Clinic.
Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Let's see. How about Susan Davenport?
Good morning. Sorry about the camera switch.
That's all right. Nice to see you.
I volunteer phone consultation with King County. And so I appreciate Amy's offer from the OIC about overflow calls. And our list is extremely long, our referral list right now, but I look forward to the OIC support. It's lovely. I've had open enrollment experience before, and this year it's Kaiser. Last year, as Paul said, it was Primera, and I don't know when it was Boeing and Aetna, but there's always a player we need to kind of sharpen up with, and so I'm looking forward to what to do with the Kaiser. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice to see you, Susan. Don Berg, do you want to say good morning?
Good morning. I'm Don Berg. I recently moved from King County, and a shout out to all my friends in King County. Moved down to Pierce County, and I'm getting reacquainted down here, facing all the problems that everybody else is.
Thank you. Did your ears perk up there when Susan talked about Boeing and Aetna? Because you did a number of presentations for Boeing folks.
Yes, I did. That was an experience.
That was great.
That was an experience. Yep. As my old good friend Mark Twain said, reports of Don's retirement are greatly exaggerated. He just relocated himself, but he's back in the saddle. Good to see you, Don. I'm looking forward to have a cup of coffee with you. It's been a while.
Looking forward to it.
Good. Stephanie Ketchum, are you available to the call? You want to say good morning?
Hello there.
Hello.
Sorry about that. I'm Stephanie Ketchum with Catholic Charities, and do I get to count in weeks like Susie did?
Any way you like. People like Don who just count in dog years.
We're 2 or 3 months in. Yes. And it's been great so far. We're a new host agency for 5 counties, Yakima, Benton, Franklin, Walla Walla, and Columbia. And our main office is in Yakima.
Nice to see you. Please hello to Kelsey.
I will.
All right. Ruth Hunter, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I'm new to the team. I've been in training with some of the folks on the phone for several months now, and I'm based in Anacortes, and I'm really looking for ways to insert myself in get some shadow time and really maybe take some low-hanging fruit off the team's plate here in this area.
We appreciate that. We're a little bit undersubscribed with volunteers up in Skagit County, so it's great to have you.
Thank you. I'm eager to get involved. Thank you.
Yeah. Is Celeste still here? Yep. Celeste, we can just take a note about connecting Ruth with folks in Anacortes.
Yeah, I'm going to meet Carol for the first time next week.
Yeah, she is.
But yeah, looking forward to contributing and get creative in how to take advantage of me. Thank you.
And look out for Peter.
Who?
Peter.
Peter? Okay.
I'll send you a contact.
Pete just works from home now.
That's all right. They can talk on the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. Claudia K., good morning. You're trying to be heard. You're still on mute. Your setting is on mute, Claudia. But maybe you're away filling out your form to go to the racetrack later. I don't know, busy with something. Tamara, do you want to say good morning?
Sure thing. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tamara Myers, and I am still brand new in my role as SHIBA training coordinator. If I'm counting in weeks, as Stephanie and Susie did, this is the number. 1 week in. It's really nice to be here, and I felt very warmly welcome. So thanks, Tim.
My pleasure. It's important that you all feel welcome. I feel like that when we have a smaller group like we have today, it's nice for me to spend a moment for you all to introduce yourselves, because I'm hoping that it helps you appreciate, number one, the diversity of the ways that we do this work, right? So it's not the same for Corey out in PT, Port Townsend, right, or Tri-Center, as it is for Linnell on Whidbey, as it is for somebody like Susan in King County. And I think that diversity is a good thing. I think there's a balance between kind of standard work and doing the work consistently, with also appreciating that one of the merits of having 19 sponsor organizations is people can experiment and kind of make it work the way that it works best for them locally. And that shows up in terms of outreach and in terms of education and in terms of mentoring. And so I think that's a positive thing. I also feel like that open enrollment is kind of this surge of work. Across the program, we do about half of all the beneficiary contacts happen in the fourth quarter of the year, right? So it is kind of peak workload. And so again, I just want to appreciate you all for kind of embracing this. And there is just a lot of uncertainty, right? When I get to my slide deck, you're going to hear me talk about there's a lot of uncertainty in the program and in the agency and in state government and in the federal government. And so, I appreciate for those of you who have had some experience that you can share with us your perspective about some things stay the same and some things change. And you definitely have a foundation to stand on, but you're also open to things changing, and that the learning is not something that's like a burden or a hardship, but that's part of the fun of it, right? Like a very typical couple of questions that I always get about the program. I tell people what I do. They say why would anyone do that? Why would anyone be a SHIBA volunteer? That just sounds slightly impossible and overwhelming and difficult. And then I say, well, but that's not a bug. That's a feature. That's the joy of it. That's what draws people to the work. When we go out and recruit people, we shouldn't apologize for it being challenging. We should say, if you're a person who likes challenges, that's why you should come do this. And then the second thing I think that, I get asked a lot is just if I call, which is hard for people, right? Because they historically do not have a positive experience, oftentimes with state government or federal government, what can I expect? And Stephanie and I got to be in Yakima recently together to do a presentation. And I said, for almost anyone, we can train the technical skills. We have great trainers. As Kendra said, the folks who do that regional training coordinator job, they're excellent. We can teach you the technical aspect. What we mostly need is people that are kind and caring and patient, because that's the thing at the end of the day that people are going to remember about their experience with the SHIBA program. So, that I think is how we just have to keep showing up, being really authentic and just saying, I have the time it needs for you to unpack your story in the way that you need to. If it's going to take an hour, that's all right. If you need Zoom, we have Zoom. If you need a phone call, we have a phone call. If you need to meet in person, we can do that, right? And so I just want to, my purpose in organizing these quarterly meetings is principally just to thank you for doing this work, the work that you do every day, the contribution that you make. It's such a huge relief to people. As I said, I was talking to a reporter from the Seattle Times before I came on the call, and I said, those Kaiser people, when they call, like they're at this level of stress and anxiety, and at the end of the call, they feel calm, they feel secure, they feel ready to go forward. And that's the thing that does not really show up in our data, right? I can say we counseled this many people in Kitsap County, but that sense of like relief that people have, and I think that the meta-analysis of this, right, is like that sense. It is probably unconscious to people, but like someone in the world cares about me. There's someone who doesn't know me, but they're willing to help me just because that's the right thing to do, right? And so, like I say, a big thrust for me of organizing this calls is just to thank you. I want you to hear directly from me on behalf of the commissioner how much we appreciate you. And I also just want for everybody to know that you're not in it alone, right? Because it can feel kind of isolating when you're out there working on the phone or working at the clinic. But I hope that part of what you get out of these small group conversations is that sense of like there's a community of people who have the same passion that you do, and they also want to help you. As peers, they want to help and support you. So please, use this time and use this time when you're out in the community. We want to be a convener. So as much as Diane wants to answer an individual question, we also want to refer you back to David Sharp for a question about VA, or refer you back to Paul with questions about, hey, Paul, what happened last year with guaranteed issue rights? How did you explain that to people in a way that resonated for them? Or if you're a person that's interested in doing public presentations, to say, oh, I heard on the call that Don Berg does that. He's a guy that I could reach out to. He has a lot of experience, and I might be willing to, or more willing to consider doing that if, he'll kind of take me under his wing a little bit. So I appreciate that the introductions take some time, but it just feels really worthwhile to me, and for you to know how much I appreciate you. Got a question, raised hand, please.
Hi, this is Maureen. I'm on shift, so I'm trying to juggle
Maureen,
30.
do something different with your camera, please. Like shift it down a couple of degrees so I can see your chin. There you go.
Is that it? Okay, sorry.
Good to see
I
you.
have a question. I have to leave the call because I'm on shift, but can I ask whether or not we know whether or not the Kaiser letter was sent out accurately to people whose plans were leaving, or was it sent out just indiscriminately to plans that may have continued? Do we know that?
I don't have any reason to think that that was an error. Do you? Are you hearing that's an error?
Well, I hear people have essential, and there is an essential plan. And I hear that people had the zero premium plan, and there's still a zero premium plan.
Okay.
Key, and now Keith Thurston. So is it such that the plan changed so dramatically that they couldn't just roll people over into the other plan? Or do you know the answer to that question?
I do, and that's a really great question. Thanks for bringing it. This is our friend Maureen Hill from the Thurston County Group, works with Kelly and Senior Services for South Sound. So thanks, Maureen. Let me just do a quick in-service training here in the moment for people. So as I said, I just got off the phone with the reporter from the Seattle Times, and how I explained it is like what you see is Kaiser, like all the managed care plans, all the Medicare Advantage plans, it's an annual contract between the insurance company and the Medicare agency, CMS. So they file those plans for approval with CMS before they can start marketing and selling them. And Kaiser just took a business decision that there was plans that they were offering in 25 that they're not offering in 2026. So they used to have a plan ID H01, and they're not offering that anymore, but they're offering H02, which looks very much remarkably like H01. But because it's a different filing with the Medicare agency, and it does trigger that guaranteed issue rights for people. So even though it's the same company, even maybe if we just wiggled the copays or the coinsurance, it's still a different plan as far as CMS is concerned. And so that individual, like literally like H01 is ending at the end of the year. And so there is this kind of dissonance that people are experiencing because that letter is so threatening, right? It lands on people as being so very threatening. And then they find out that something very modest is changing, right? And so they're having that experience of like, this feels like you're telling me my insurance is ending, but then you're just telling me call Kaiser and change and it's easy. And so people are really struggling with that a lot. Is that helpful, Maureen?
Yeah, no, that's what we've kind of figured out on our own, but it just was so, at first it seemed like, okay, one of the plans is leaving, and then no, we've got calls like 3 of the plans are changing. So anyway, that does clarify. Thank you. And I'm sorry I have to leave the meeting, but
that's all right.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate your service.
Yeah, Tim, this is Don. Just as
Hey,
a
Don.
comment, as a marketing guy, that's marketing malpractice on their part. I mean, why not say, yes, plan is ending. We have plans. Why don't you call us and sign up and stay with Kaiser? Didn't say that.
And that is a complaint that you're going to get all during open enrollment. Exactly right. Your client is going to show up and say, why didn't Kaiser just say that? And the answer is because it's essentially a form letter that CMS requires that they use.
My answer would be they're good at medicine, they're terrible at marketing. So
well, yeah. So I mean, and to the credit of Kaiser, and we'll send you some more information about this, they have stood up a pretty good website and they have organized these webinars that people can hop into and get questions answered. But yeah, it's just super unfortunate. And as several people said, it kind of comes on the heels of the trauma that we had last year with Premera and Regents and Aetna. And so people are already kind of keyed up, right? That letter comes and it feels even more overwhelming, right? Because there's that echo effect that people have.
Yeah.
And people are very loyal to Kaiser, right? I mean, you're going to find that you're going to counsel people that had group health, right, when they were working, and then they had Kaiser, or they moved from California, and they're very loyal to Kaiser. And so there is also like that is amplifying this effect in a way that it might not if it was Humana or Aetna, right? And I think, Don, your instinct is right. Most people are going to choose another Kaiser plan because they're not going to want to leave the Kaiser network. And again, there's kind of a brand loyalty that comes out of the sense that Kaiser is a different kind of insurance, right? They care about me. They care about my health. It was group health cooperative. So they have a different impression of that plan.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be loath to change. So you're going to just do, I think, a lot of counseling of the kind of like, just helping them feel okay, that they haven't missed something. It really is as simple as call 1-800-KAISER and say, put me in H02 instead of H01. Thanks very much. But it's going to take a minute for people to kind of just discharge all that energy they have. Yeah. So again, I think it's just a lot like bearing witness to the challenges that they have and just helping them, reassuring them like, you're not missing something. Like that's how simple it is. What do you have for us, Paul?
You have the website that Kaiser set up to explain this?
They do.
And
we're going to push that out to you.
Okay.
Yep. They do. And it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm going to have a conversation with their corporate people here and just talk about like how many people, which counties, what are you guys doing? Here's what we're doing. We don't want to be surprising each other. They're very easy to work with. Mm-hmm. And I guess on the other side of that, they're not allowed to disclose to us ahead of time because people are going to say like, well, why didn't they tell you in September? And then you could have told us. They're not allowed to. So until it's public, they're not allowed to tell me what's happening. So it's not like that. Hey, Jean, Annette, I'm coming to you next.
So just a quick request, Tim, before we end today, I heard you say that there's been a change from last year's publication about guaranteed issue. And if this isn't the place in the meeting, but before we wrap up, if you could say what was the change that you wanted us to be aware of, I'd appreciate that too. Thank you.
Absolutely. Linda Diekman, could you find that publication and put it up on the screen for us? Do you know what I mean? It's the chart on page 7. Yep. Hey, Annette, what do you have for us?
Okay, in terms of the Kaiser, I think Kaiser is being very open and upfront with their people and not playing games that I saw with several of particularly some of the United Healthcare plans last year. Because last year they made major changes in many different places, and I was really surprised that they were able to say, just roll it over and stay the same. And a number of my clients were very upset with the changes that were made, and they didn't have the ability to get out of an Advantage plan because they would never pass medical underwriting. So I think we have to give Kaiser credit, even though it's causing all kinds of problems. I think we have to give them credit for saying, hey, this is a change. You need to be aware of what it is. And if you want to take it, go someplace else, or you want to stay with us, that's your choice. And they're giving them special bonus rights that competitors, United Healthcare, in many cases, Humana. I'm not really in tune with some of the other plans that are available in other counties because we are limited on Whidbey, which ones are available to our residents. And I know it's causing panic because I have 4 clients I've talked to already because of Kaiser, and actually it looks like they're going to stay right with Kaiser, and they're going to do, like you say, switch from the whatever plan they have to the one that looks just about like it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome. And Linda, thanks for that. And could you also, would you be willing to just also next tab over in your browser, will you find us the list of approved Medicare supplement plans? Just so people have a visual. So, so Jean, thanks for the question. And for those of you who are not familiar, I know we have a lot of brand new people on the call. We published this terrific guide that we call What You Need to Know About Medicare Supplement or Medigap Plans. And at the back of the book on page 7, we have this chart. Almost. I'm looking for the one that's the companies and rates. We have this chart that sort of describes your rights about switching plans, and then it also includes a citation to the RCW or WAC. A lesson learned last year was that the publication was wrong, so apologies for that. It also wasn't really clear enough, so apologies for that. So we did update it, and what the update is in 2 parts. So the first part is distinguishing people who were eligible for Medicare before January 2020 compared to people who are eligible after, because they have different guaranteed issue rights depending upon when they gained Medicare eligibility. And then the second distinction is that it's not all of the 10 standard plans to which you have a guaranteed issue right. So last year, how this showed up was we had some very upset people who were sure that they had guaranteed issue rights to Plan N, and then they found out that they didn't, and the guide wasn't technically correct to support that. So we've made those couple of corrections. So we're distinguishing people who are 65 before January 2020, and we're distinguishing explicitly which plans out of the 10 standards plans it is and which it's not. Is that helpful?
Hey, Tim, I think that's very helpful. However, I think where you've got this thing placed on the website is really terrible because nobody sees it. It needs to be right in line with the other 2 documents that we drive people to all the time, but it's over in this quick tip box, and nobody can find it.
Okay, Alan, that's a good tip. I think, let me ask you, we're just kind of thinking out loud here, right? But what if we created like a landing page or a link that said, hey, if you got a letter from Kaiser or CHPW, here's a page that's dedicated just to that, and then we could put this resource there.
Well, I think it would make more sense to just put it there all the time because we use it all the time. It's not just for Kaiser. I mean, it's people. Have you moved? Well, you see how your guarantee issue is, right? Have you, has this thing happened? You've had these events. It's not always your plan got canceled, and it's certainly Kaiser. So I would prefer that there was a explore your guarantee issue rights, link,
It should live on the same page or have a link right next to the other two for that document and for this one.
Right. I mean, I think if they were just stacked in column, instead of putting it in that quick tip box over on the side where nobody would see it. I didn't see it for months.
Okay, Alan, that's great feedback. I'll take that back to our team. Appreciate it.
And then I just want to say what a shock it is that they can't enroll in N, because that's a pretty darn popular plan. So.
It is. And so, Jean, we did a ton of counseling. And again, I'm going to apologize for people for whom this is relatively new. What we end up telling people is you can sign up for G and then next quarter change to N.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but it's awkward. You're absolutely right. Yep. And I'll also just say that that's not universally the experience, right? There are companies that will absolutely welcome you applying for Plan N and enroll you, but then there's some companies that say, I don't have to. Oh. So I don't expect universally that the company is going to say, I won't do it. Expect that it may happen. And then you might just camp out there for a few minutes and then switch next month.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey, Paul.
Speaking of the website, are you tracking the clicks on the website to see what people click on?
We are.
Good.
And actually we just I'm hoping that you all have the Medicare open enrollment toolkit, right? And so we did also include in the toolkit several of the pages have a QR code, so we're tracking that traffic as well.
Good.
But yeah, we just really did a wholesale review and update of the web pages for the entire agency, and then built the Medicare open enrollment pages for SHIBA. And so we are tracking. We have, I don't know that it's Google, the company per se, but some analytics attached to where did you come from? Where did you go to? How long did you stay here? Yeah. And yeah, I can bring that data back to you in January when we have the next town hall. What do you have for us, Heidi?
Oh, hey, Tim, are you want me to quit sharing? Are you done with the document?
Okay. Maybe we could just drop the links in the chat for people.
Yeah.
I was counseling someone the other day and we were talking about the option of a HDHP, and I could give them the current year deductible for the high deductible plan. Do we know what is or when they will announce the deductible for 2026 on the HDHP?
We don't know yet for those Medicare supplement plans that have a high deductible. We don't know what that amount is moving to, right? Currently it's $2,070. We don't know what it's going to be next year. It's essentially indexed in the same way that the Medicare Part B premium is, which we also don't know. But I think I can say with some confidence it's going to be on the high side of $200 next year. But we don't know the Part B premium, the Part B deductible. We don't know the high deductible amount for the Medicare supplement plans yet. But as soon as we do, we'll be sure and let you know. And this is a typical thing that happens, and it frustrates people.
Yes, it does. I just warned him, hey, it's probably going to be getting, figure it's going to go up a bit. And he was
sure. Yeah, for sure. Several percent. Yep. Okay, I want to, I did make a PowerPoint presentation. Apologies that it came kind of at the last minute. And I do want to just share a little bit of it with you. I don't need to obviously go through the whole thing. Really, my purpose in staging these meetings is it's an opportunity for us to have this kind of discussion and Q&A. And so I'm perfectly happy for it to come at the beginning compared to at the end. But I do want to just highlight a couple of things in here for you. So as Kendra had the nice map up, so we do have some new sponsor organizations. To me, a sponsor organization is the outfit that we contract with to do volunteer management services. So up in Bellingham, that's the Whatcom Council on Aging. In Southeast Washington, that's Catholic Charities. In Lewis County, that's Timber River Connections, and Heidi is repping for them. And then as Kendra said, we also have this second kind of contract that we refer to as enhanced outreach contracts. And those are really intended to kind of amplify our efforts to reach people that historically have not been well served by us. And so very excited that starting in October in King County, we have a contract with an outfit called NAPCA, which is the National Asian Pacific Council on Aging. It's a nationwide outfit with a local office in Seattle. And then Unity Care Northwest, which is a community health center in Bellingham. So very excited for that. I want to talk about some changes in our team. You got to meet Tamra, and you got to meet Susie, and we have a couple more people in our team in permanent roles and in non-permanent roles. And this year we also have 4 interns from St. Martin's University who are working on their Bachelor's of Social Work degree. So we're very excited to have them as well. Are there people in the group that have an appreciation they'd like to share for someone else that they work with?
Well, Tim, I just
Someone-
hate for there to be a silence, so I have to jump in and say, I am really appreciative of everyone who does this work. It's not easy. You know, we want to do it right. We all want to be competent, and I think everyone's devoted, and I'm grateful for staff and for the other volunteers.
It's an inspiration. You all are an inspiration to me. Thank you, Jean.
I have an appreciation for Martha Hagan. In Whatcom County, Martha and sometimes Susan, 2 of our advisors, do all the booking for the appointments. Last week, Martha was in Mexico on vacation, but she continued to make phone calls and book appointments.
She missed my lecture about boundaries.
Yeah.
Please tell Martha and Susan I said hello.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott. How about other folks that want to share an appreciation? All right, let me get back to my slide deck then. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna move ahead, maybe? Nope. Whoops, too far. Okay, so I'm gonna share a couple of different points of view for you here. So as I said, you get to meet Susie and Tamra. We also have Anita Hinojosa who joined us as a Medicare specialist. So you have Anita and Samaria, and they, again, as Amy said, gonna work casework, overflow calls, referrals that you need some support with. And then we have our open enrollment support specialist team, and Elisa is representing for them. We're gonna do something different this year. So for callers to 1-800-562-6900, we're going to have a voice prompt, and it's going to say something like, if you're calling about Medicare or Medicare open enrollment, then you're going to get redirected to one of the 4 people that we have specifically to do that work. And the intention behind this is that we'll have better quality referrals to you, and that we'll be offering folks to receive this packet. So it's not going to be as strong as you can't get an appointment until you have the packet and you've studied it, but we're going to say something like, having the packet will help you have a better, more efficient appointment, and you may be able to self-serve, or you can use the packet to engage somebody else in your network that you trust, or even if you're just working with a local agent or calling 1-800-Medicare, it'll help you kind of be better prepared. So very excited for extra support. For us, these are the things that we're hoping to deliver to you in terms of those results. So Susie's on point for administrative aspects of volunteer management. Our seasonal help are on point for urgent cases, overflow calls, increased local support in places that we have few or no volunteers. We have a new regional training consultant we introduced at the last meeting, which is Ari. And Ari is a bilingual bicultural person, so working in Yakima, Walla Walla, Benton, Franklin, and Columbia counties where there's a concentration of people who prefer Spanish or only have Spanish. So we're excited to increase our language access capacity. I talked about referrals back to you, and then also we're going to make our seasonal support staff and our interns available to help support you with local outreach events that you're doing. Compared to when we started working together 4 years ago, we've about doubled the number of volunteers in the network, which is great. My personal goal is for us to move from, we're short a little bit over 200 now to closer to 600 statewide. And as I said, I feel like the operation is very scalable. And this is the first time in my tenure that we've been fully staffed. So I'm very excited about that. And I just want to thank each of you, because I know that your work in recruiting and orientation, training and mentoring really makes a meaningful difference. So Thank you for making people feel welcome and helping them get started. We are very excited about our Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit and our redesigned Medicare OEP web pages. We did have 8 volunteers who recorded short form videos for us. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, I would encourage you to do that. And we had an example of updated publications and resources. And as Alan said, we absolutely welcome your feedback about ways we can make that work better for you. We are distributing the packets through libraries and senior centers. There's a little over 300 of each. We've processed a little over 30,000 of the packets out the door so far. That's out of 100,000 initial print order in English. We have advertisements on the radio, streaming services, and in print. And at this point, all the packets are available in English and 13 other languages through the DES fulfillment site. You can see it online at our website as a PDF document, or you can order the English language version directly from our Medicare OEP website. So things that are happening at a state view. I know that everyone is very eager for us to complete our work on the landscape of plans. This is where we say, these are the plans and the specific benefits, especially for the Medicare Advantage plans that are available in your county. So Amy and her team are working diligently on that. And we've got a meeting scheduled with our friends over at the Healthcare Authority to get that same kind of data about the plans for dual eligible people, the dual special needs plans. We spent a lot of time talking about the changes with Kaiser, also CHPW, and a couple of other plans have small numbers of plans that small numbers of people affected by discontinue notices, but mostly you're going to hear from CHPW and Kaiser folks. There are some new plans. Again, varies by county, but there's some new plans in the marketplace, so you're going to obviously get questions about that. We're down to now 10 standalone Part D plans, so shrinking, which is absolutely what we expected, and we expect that to continue. You'll probably also hear about increases for Medicare supplement plans. We're seeing and approving increases on the 12, 15, 18% level, which is very upsetting, and you're going to get complaints about that. And then what I would say is, without scripting you, I would say this reflects the cost of doing business to the plans. The OIC approves all the plan rates, so the plans submit their rates, and then we approve them as submitted or at a lower level. So we are scrutinizing those to make sure that it's justified by the claims experience that the company is having. But you'll probably hear about United Healthcare, which is co-branded with AARP. You might hear about Mutual Omaha. Between the two of them, they write 80% of the business in the state. So it's an opportunity, hey, if the cost of this is getting difficult, let's talk about Medicare Savings Program. Let's talk about a high deductible plan. Let's talk about switching to another one of the lettered plans. And then, of course, lots of changes in supplemental benefits. Excuse me. So the Medicare Advantage plans, moving around all the things that people care about. Excuse me. So I know that we have people who are choosing just based on that. Okay, lots of changes to the Medicare.gov website. For people who are newly creating an account, they're going to be required to use an email address. And for people who are logging in with an account to use the Medicare Plan Finder tool, they're going to be subject to multi-factor authentication. I understand that people who already have an account won't be required to provide an email address. The plan site will now include a detailed provider directory. So if you're interested in Humana, you should be able to see doctors, hospitals, specialty care providers in your local area that accept Humana. There is also going to be, for the first time, a special enrollment period for people who relied on the provider directory online and completed their enrollment online at the Medicare website. They will have a special enrollment period if, in fact, the data that they relied on was in error. So it's similar to other kinds of special enrollment period that are in place for people who relied on counsel from an authoritative source like the SHIP program or Medicare and it was an error. So this is kind of an extension of that to the digital world. I'm hoping that I run out of time so I don't have to talk about the WISER program, but you're going to get questions about this as well. So this is, of course, an acronym. So Wasteful and Inappropriate Spending Reduction Act. It's Medicare's effort at fraud, waste, and abuse in the Medicare program. Generally, of course, we're strongly in favor of that as a means of holding people accountable and managing the cost curve. This has caused tons of confusion, and so again, I'm sure you're bound to hear about it. The agency just released a blog post, so I will commit to get you a copy of that blog post. I collaborated on the production of it. What we're saying is this is going to happen. There's nothing going to keep it from happening starting in January. Important distinction is that although Washington State is one of 6 states that are participating in the pilot program, it's nothing to do with state government. This is a process called a request for applications that CMS, the Medicare agency, made to Medicare administrative contractors. You may know that all of the work of paying claims is done not by the Medicare agency, but by agencies with which they contract. These are known as Medicare administrative contractors. In Washington State is Noridian. So Noridian essentially said, yes, we would be interested in participating in the pilot project. CMS selected them to be part of the pilot project. So it's not a state government project. It's a 6-year pilot. We're starting with 17 procedures, and I will send these to you as well. They're listed in the Federal Register. I expect that the procedures that included will shift over time. Essentially, what's happening here is that for those certain procedures, there will be a prior authorization. So providers can assure themselves that they're going to get paid and assure the beneficiary that the service is going to be covered by applying for a prior authorization related to these 17 services. Whether the provider submits to prior authorization or not, there's going to be a post-payment review. If in the prior authorization is denied, or if in post-claim review it's determined that there's not sufficient evidence of medical necessity, then the provider payment is going to be recouped by Medicare. The patient will be held harmless. So even if CMS later makes a determination that that claim ought not have been paid, that will come on the provider, not on the beneficiary. 2 reasons why this is very provocative for people. Number one, there will be an extensive use of AI technology in doing these prior authorization and post-claims review. Ultimately, the decisions will be made by a human being, will be made by a clinician, but that has done very little to reassure people. The second reason it's provocative is that whatever savings Medicare considers to be attributable to the program, the Medicare administrative contractors stand to receive some of that in the form of a reimbursement, essentially an incentive for building these sophisticated systems and standing up this claims review. So all of those things are true. Those things have been very provocative. I have kind of a wait and see attitude about this. I don't think it's going to be near as disruptive as some of my colleagues do. And at the same time, I appreciate that the way this has been rolled out has been really poorly done, and it has caused a lot of consternation that probably could have been avoided with more clear communication. So I'm just acknowledging that this is a thing that's likely to come up in your counseling, and I'm going to produce kind of some, kind of like a 1-pager with some talking points for you about it. So if you get questions, you can help to, I guess, guide people or reassure people at least.
Hey, Tim, quick question on that.
Go ahead, Don.
When you say that the beneficiary is not held responsible if the claim is denied, does that prevent the provider from billing the patient?
That's exactly what I mean. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and part of the reason that this is challenging for people is they don't know that there's already a system like this in place for other kinds of claims activity in the Medicare program. So it feels as if it's out of left field, but that's not exactly 100% true. So in the current world, Don, if there was a procedure that your physician wanted for you to have, they can reach out to the Medicare administrative contractor and make sure that, in fact, that's a claim that's going to get paid based on the coding that they intend to use. If they know for a fact, or if they suspect that it's not going to be a reimbursable claim, you may be asked to sign what's called an advanced beneficiary notice. So your provider is required to tell you ahead of time that this is a procedure that Medicare may not cover or may not cover in full, and that you may have a responsibility for part of the cost. But in the case that your provider went ahead and Medicare later determined that that was not a reimbursable claim, the money comes back from the provider. They are not allowed to balance bill you for the difference.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yep. I did send you all a short note about the government shutdown. Super unfortunate, very traumatic for our colleagues who work in the federal government. There's absolutely going to be kind of, a cascading effect in terms of worse service. There will not be, in my view, any material impacts to the SHIBA program in the short term. If this goes on for more than 30 days or more than 60 days, then I'm going to revisit my analysis. But funding to the SHIBA program is not going to be affected. Funding to our contractors is not going to be affected. All of our staff services are going to continue to be intact. We're going to keep running 1-800 Medicare. We're going to keep running the Medicare site. So I think from a beneficiary perspective, this is like a no impact issue. There are definitely some services offered through Medicare and Social Security that are going to be suspended or delayed, but I think it's going to be very unlikely and very few people affected, especially in the short term. Turning to the state government for a second, I'll come back to you in just a second, Jillian. Washington State, like most states, is required to balance the budget every year. So we're going to have a very difficult session because the caseload forecast is up, the revenue forecast is down, and so we're going to have some very challenging conversations about that. State agencies have been asked to submit their package of reductions. We are accepted from that. We are work for a separately elected official, so we're not part of the governor's cabinet. So our agency will not be looking at a reduction of service. We will not be looking at a reduction of force exercise. We will not looking at a reduced budget. But because we are so dependent on so many other agencies and people in state government, we are going to feel the effects of this for sure. So as we move into the so-called short session or the supplemental budget cycle starting in January, there's going to be lots of conversations about what's changing and what's staying the same and who's affected. And so, realistically, I think we can forecast that there's going to be a further degradation of services that our clients get from agencies like the HCA and DSHS. And I know we're already experiencing that. So I'm just kind of putting a pin in this one to say it's going to get worse before it gets better. What do you have for us, Jillian?
Well, I was just going to share that this morning I met with a client who had gone to Social Security. And they're saying because of the government shutdown, there's very, very little they can do to help people. They wouldn't even print his award letter off so he can prove his income. They did let him update his address because he had relocated from California. So at least there's that, and we can help him get a new Medicare Advantage plan. However, I'm hearing this from a lot of people, and there's some concern that people are going to hit their 7-month period and not be able to get their Medicare card in time to have their enrollment period. So a lot of stress with a lot of people we're talking to based on that.
I'm sorry for that. And unfortunately, that's real. And that's been going on for a little while.
Yeah. And so, I reassure them we'll do everything we can to help them through the process and that it will take time. And there are steps we'll have to do, but we wrap around and do whatever we can, of course, to support them.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So now I'm going to do a quick review about today's program, and then I'm going to do a quick preview about what comes next. So I'm feeling like we're in a very good place a week ahead of open enrollment. I think our network, volunteers, partners, staff is we're in a better position than we were a year ago. I'm very excited about our Jumpstart Toolkit. I think although, obviously Kaiser, CHPW, very disruptive, not as much as we had last year. And having said that, still tons of anxiety and uncertainty out there. I think your clients are going to bring that to meetings with you. And it's financially, we know more and more seniors are facing challenges, housing, food insecurity, transportation. So I just want to acknowledge that your work is getting more difficult in that regard. That's not lost on us, for sure. So as I said, challenging times for the Washington State budget. We are going to continue to have a very robust volunteer recruiting campaign. As we have done in years past, we'll stand up our so-called direct mail campaign where in January, February, we send a message to people's homes to say, how about being a SHIBA volunteer and helping your neighbors and having a great learning experience? We're going to continue to reach out and grow our contracts and partnerships. Tamara is here, and with Elena, we're going to reinitiate our work on a mentoring project, so peer-to-peer coaching. Elena's done an excellent job with instructor-led coursework and online courses, and we're going to continue to build out that presence as well. And my friend Kim McKenna is not here, but Kim is our SMP project coordinator, and I really appreciate that you all embracing talking about fraud, waste, and abuse in the Senior Medicare Patrol Project as part of your counseling in your presentations, and very grateful for Diane being here to help, again, represent that we will support you with complex cases and cases of suspected fraud, and we will be doing more work in the year ahead specifically to recruit volunteers who want to work on those kinds of issues in particular. So with that, how about closing questions, comments, discussion? Apologies, I have to finish at noon. I wore you out. Please take a look at the chat. Our team posted some great messages there and resources and links. I'm going to send you some more things after the fact. We did record today's program as well as the ones from the previous 2 days, and we'll get those all posted to the website for you. In closing, let me just say again how very much I appreciate you. Enjoyed the introductions and getting reacquainted with you or meeting you for the first time today. And please invite us to come out and visit. I love to come out and visit you all, and thank you personally and eat your home baked goods. All right, take care. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, everybody.